What's up, guys? Welcome back to Elderwood Games. Thomas here, and I wanted to give a September goals catch-up to let you guys know that I am ahead of schedule, and in fact, the project is complete. All I have to do now with the models is magnetize them, and we are good to start playing. But let's kind of talk about what went well, what went poorly, and maybe kind of talk about why I'm done so soon. So firstly, what went well? The sisters that are armored are fantastic kits. They have quite a bit of personality as well as quite a few options. Similar to like Space Marines. Space Marines, I think, have a few more extra kind of bits and baubles that you can put on them to kind of make each one a little bit more unique. But the sisters, they all are quite dynamic, which in some degree is good because now I have 10 sisters that all look fairly different because of their dynamic posing. But because of the dynamics of their posing, there's very little you can do to kind of like adjust each individual model, which it just depends kind of your taste on that. A lot of times when it's a gunman that is holding their weapon with two hands, you're not going to be able to do much anyway, so take with that what you will. But they were actually fine kits to work with. The Arcoflagellants, they are the reason that I did not build all of it at once, like I kind of talked about doing in my first video. I ended up building all the armored sisters, so the sister squad, the canoness, and the sacrosanct, I believe that's right. And then I built the first two of the Arcoflagellants at the same time. The first two of the flagellants, if it's the same in their individual box, they are the hardest. So basically how the flagellants are, as with quite a few of the more like battle line or, you know, 10 plus model kits by GW, it looks like 10 unique sculpts, but really it's like 5 bodies and then they're doubled and then they do slightly different arms on each of the pairs. So that way you get 10 different looking sculpts, but in reality, they are basically 5 sculpts with some different accessories, which is fine. I mean, they're a unit that you're going to end up kind of potentially having a lot of, and you can also still mix and match the left and right arms if you would like. So if you wanted to have more unique squads, you could do that. But basically what ended up happening is I built the armored sisters and then 2 of the flagellants, and then I was like, I'm done with building on these, so I'm going to move on to painting. So I painted the sisters, and that actually went pretty well. It did take me about a week's worth of painting. The armor was super easy, so my wife wanted sort of this bronzy kind of color. Great color. I really do like it a lot. And then she wanted some bright gold detailing. So you'll kind of see some of the models have a few gold details. Most of their relics, reliquaries, and other kind of fiddly bits I did do in some gold. And then she wanted sort of a red, white, and blue kind of scheme like I was talking about in the last video. So I decided to do sort of red skirt, white tabard with white sleeves, and then blue will be reserved more for the leaders. So the canoness and the hospitaller both have either shouldered or head dresses in a blue color. Just kind of made that up sort of on the fly when I was sort of painting them up because I didn't want to have so many different colors on each individual model. Painting them was fine. The armor was knocked out super quick. I basically just did like basically a stipple with the rough iron, picked out the gold with a fine brush, then went back in with the cloak colors, the cloth colors, touching up back and forth a little bit just because, you know, they are quite small. It's not that I wasn't prepared for it, it's just there were some times where I got in a hurry and ended up having to go back on a few of them and get those cleared up. But overall, I would say pretty decent painting experience. I do kind of wish they had maybe a bit more contrast on their armor. That might be something that I do later to touch them up. Maybe making their visor be a different color just to kind of give a little bit more detailing on them. But overall, satisfied with the way they look. I'm excited to see my wife's reaction to them here in a little bit. So after the sisters were done, obviously I had to get back to the Arcoflagellants even though I was very worried that the rest of the kits were going to be as annoying as the first two. That ended up not being the case. There are a couple bits that were a little bit frustrating to deal with, but when you're dealing with really long kind of S or curved shaped pieces, you're gonna have those moments where it's gonna catch your finger when you're trying to let it go. You're gonna rip the glue off, that sort of thing. So to be expected. Honestly, after the first two, they were fine, and they were kind of cool to put together. Cleaning them up was a bit rough. A lot of their sprue connections go between like these little spikes. So if you do look up close to them, there are instances where I just clean the spikes off of that area, just because I would rather have no spikes and have a clean mold line than to have spikes and leftover sprue residue. So once I finished them, I had to come about painting them. I wanted them to look a bit sickly, so I did go a little bit over what I would normally do with a red undercoat for their flesh, and then basically just did a single coat with like double coats in highlight areas. Instead of doing like a solid skin tone overall and then doing like a shade or highlights within the skin tone, I instead used the skin tone as a little bit of an overbrush, maybe is the best way to say it, and then in areas that needed it, just kind of bumped it up with more of that color. Basically, the idea there was that the red would really show through, and it would give the impression of this like really sickly skin, kind of thinning skin, and that sort of thing. And honestly, there's two of them that I didn't even add skin tone to, because I was like, it looks kind of like bloody flesh. These guys are kind of gross in that way, and I felt like it actually looked pretty good. After all that was said and done, I did do some different colored wire on each of them. So we have red, yellow, and blue. Overall, it was a really fun project. I'm kind of excited to paint some more sisters. I kind of hope her next choice in models may be like a vehicle or something. I know she really likes the penitent engines. I would be pretty excited to paint those up. I think they're pretty cool too. So we'll just kind of wait and see after we play a few games with these what she may decide is her next model. It's the 11th of September as of recording this, so I, before the halfway point of the month, completed my goal, and that feels really awesome. Honestly, it really does. But let's maybe get into why that happened. Since the recording of our last video, basically we ended up finishing the process of acquiring a new home. Ultimately, I was like, okay, well, if we're gonna be moving, then that means basically after I finish recording this, our next few days are gonna be starting to pack everything up. So I am gonna be, I'll probably try and still do some videos. My painting desk and my work computer and stuff will obviously be some of the last things that end up getting packed away, just because I'm gonna have to transport those outside of the U-Haul, the moving truck, just because that's how I want to do it, to be a little bit more secure and safe with some of this stuff that is quite valuable to me. So yeah, we're moving. I'm excited for that. I'll probably end up doing some kind of like video on getting all that set up and showing you guys around in that space, because it'll be the space you're going to be seeing for quite a while. But oddly enough, in addition to all of this, I actually also finished my Neuro Tyrant. I was really on a roll with painting today, and for some reason I just got the itch to finish this guy. So this model I ended up trading some Space Marines for. It's a needed model. It's a hard model to get your hands on, especially through GW, because it's just never in stock. I had been waiting for it for about 4 months. It finally came back in stock, and it was out of stock within the hour. I'm glad I have it. I'm excited to play with it, and especially glad that it's now painted. I am gonna kind of have to see how I'm feeling based on our moving and stuff, if I want to finish my Tyranids portion of the backlog before September ends, just because all I have left now are Hormigons. So if I can get them built and painted out of the Kill Team box, then my Tyranids are all done. I'm fully caught up. I do have a Norn Emissary on the way. In addition to the Neuro Tyrant, I traded some Space Marines, and I'm getting a Norn Emissary as well. So that's really exciting. That'll be my second one. So that'll be a great addition to my Tyranid force, and another big brain bug to have in my army. But yeah, that's really the update for today. my September goal is complete. Until I get into my new space, I don't really know exactly what my October goal is going to be. I think it's going to be related to Armies on Parade, just because that's in October for me. So that'll be something I have to get done. So it'll probably be along those lines. But what have you guys accomplished so far in this month of September? Are you guys well on your way on your goals that you may have set for yourself this month? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Okay, here we go.
All right, you can open your eyes.
Alrighty. I feel like there's a butt.
There's not a butt.
Okay. Ooh, they turned out so good. There's glitter on it.
Yeah, there is glitter on it.
You put glitter on them.
Yeah, to make the marble bases.
Yeah. So cool. It's my own army. Ooh, I like that little detail on there.
The purity
That's
seal.
a cool helmet. Oh, this one's cool. Look how big that spear is. Like this lady, she's my favorite. This is Diane. We all know why we call her Diane. Ooh, little sexy guys. Little sex pots. Ooh, these are kind of sharp. Ooh, they look so good. So dramatic. This is Charlotte, after Queen Charlotte. This is Elizabeth II, obviously. That one's Elizabeth I. This one's Jill. We like Jill. Oh, thank you, baby. Look at my little lady. Look at my gals. That's Queen Mary, and that is the Queen of Scots.
Oh, okay.
I think just one critique, though.
What?
Would have been better if it was pink glitter, but that's okay.